Okay, I'm Volkan, and I'm going to be talking about distributed vector representations of words in Sigma kind of architecture. And two of my collaborators, Paul and Erwin, are also in the audience. So, what's a distributed vector or a word embedding? It is basically a single yet general approach to integrating large amounts of diverse knowledge while building a natural measures for similarity. And here we basically assign long random vectors to words or concepts and continuously evolve these vectors from experience with usage. And degree of similarity of these vectors is a function of distance in the vector space, generally represented by the cosine distance in vectors. Distributed vectors is not a new idea. It had been used in cognitive science community or from a semantic neural representation for a long time, and it recently gained traction in the machine learning community, but its roots are still from decades ago. I mean, current work mostly originating from Bengio's neural language model from early 2000s. So it's not something new, but it didn't appear a lot in cognitive architectures. Only examples that I'm aware of are not yet implemented vector implementation of the LIDA computer architecture, the extension of VSHM to the ECTAR cognitive architecture, and I believe Psi uses distributed vectors to some extent as well. So, encouraged by what we had seen in the literature, we wanted to experiment with distributed vectors in Sigma. And distributed vectors provides structure and similarity. So we believe that we can leverage this in a cognitive architecture for knowledge representation, language, or other robust capabilities. So we set our hypothesis as Sigma can efficiently and effectively support the distributed vector representation that enables implicit learning of the meanings of words and concepts from large but shallow information resources. The point that I would like to make over here, when we are devising the algorithm for our work, we basically listen to the architecture. And we try to reuse the mechanisms in the architecture as much as possible and try to come up with a representation and algorithm that fits Sigma naturally. And in the rest of the talk, basically first I'm going to introduce the general algorithm. I'm going to present some results from external simulation. And then I will show how this algorithm is implemented in Sigma and hopefully make my case how it fits naturally to the Sigma cognitive architecture. So, distributed vectors, when we are talking about distributed vectors, the semantic information of words are captured in structures that we call lexical vectors. And learning continuously updates these lexical vectors. There are two other explicit vector structures that we are using. One of them is environmental vectors, and the second is sequence vectors. And these vectors are both randomly generated at the initialization time. But they are not changed. They don't change through learning. Environmental vectors are created for each word that we have in the vocabulary. And sequence vectors are generated for each desired binding position while capturing ordering information. So there are two sources of information that we are using while learning these distributed vectors. One is the context information. And in this example, this is a sample sentence from the AGI conference website. And assume that we are trying to update the lexical representation of the word research. So the context information here is determined by all the words that are co-occurring with the word research in the same context. So basically, the context information is then the summation of all the environmental vectors of the words that are co-occurring with the word research. And this information is stored in an intermediate data structure that we call the context vector. Then the ordering information is based on skipgrams, which are a generalization of n-grams where you allow skipping words between pairings of words. And for this DVRS model, we are using 3 skip bigrams, basically pairs of words where at most 3 skip words exist. And based on that, for ordering information, these are the words that we are using. For example, the AGI and research pairing, there are 3 skip words: conferences, encourage, and interdisciplinary. And then the ordering information is generated such that it is the sum of multiplications of the environmental vectors of these with respective unique sequence vectors that are determined with relative positions with respect to the research. So, for example, AGI is at -4 distance from research. That would assign it that -4 determines which sequence vector that we are using while calculating this ordering information. And then this ordering information also stores in an intermediate structure called ordering vector. And finally, the vector normalizations of the ordering vector and the context vector is used to update the lexical vector of the word research. So this is the basic algorithm that we have. And if you know the Beagle model, this is extremely similar to Beagle. Beagle also have environmental and lexical vectors. Both DVRS and Beagle capture context and ordering information. What's different over here is we are using skipgrams rather than n-grams. And we are introducing fixed random sequence vectors. And we are using pointwise multiplication as the binding operation rather than circular convolution. And these changes are all results from listening to the architecture and try to fit as natural as possible. And hopefully it will become more clear when I came to the Sigma implementation phase. So we have first generated an external simulator to see what type of results we are going to get out of this model. And we use a standard data set for this. And first thing we have done, trained our model and looked at the neighborhood structures. What are the closest neighbors to certain words and whether they make sense. This will give us some sort of a qualitative assessment of what we are getting, what we are doing. Secondly, for a more quantitative assessment of the DVRS model, we turned into that recently popular that word-to-web semantic syntactic word relationship test set. And if you recall, this was introduced by Benjir in the plenary talk as one of the breakthroughs that happened within the last year in the natural language world. And this test set basically asks questions like, what is the word that is similar to small in the same sense as biggest is smaller to big? Or check what is the word most similar to Paris in the way Germany is similar to Berlin. And by simple vector operations, you try to get the word smallest here, or France over here, at least vector representations that are close to them. And we trained the DVRS model on our data set and looked at our results. And I mean, we were expecting to get better results with the larger vector sizes. We are seeing that, but it reaches the limit after a certain while. And interestingly, when we compared our results with word-to-web results for a similar vector size of 512 on the same training data that we have used, we get something similar. I mean, a little bit better, but we cannot make any strong arguments at this point because we haven't finished our comprehensive testing or comparisons. But this is encouraging. Second thing that we have done is we are using these pointwise multiplication as binding operations. And we switch that into a circular convolution operation to see whether there would be any change in the binding. And first of all, circular convolution is extremely slow. And second of all, it didn't contribute much to the performance. So, back to Sigma. So Sigma has three desiderata, and DBRS contributes to these in such ways that we are expanding for Grand Unified, we are reusing the mechanisms in Sigma, so we are trying to achieve functional elegance over here. We are not sufficiently efficient yet. We need to make further optimizations in Sigma to achieve the speed or performance of the external simulator. But we are hoping that these distributed vectors can be used bridging between speech, language, and cognition. So it's just a part of Sigma. It's not the whole Sigma, distributed vectors. And Sigma, if you missed the tutorial, is a multi-layered cognitive system. There's a graphical cognitive architecture on top of a graphical architecture. And it defines a language based on predicates and conditionals. And we are using these things while implementing the DBRS model in Sigma. And also, Sigma extensively uses summary product algorithm. An important thing over here is summary product do products and summarizes out unneeded variables. And this fits naturally because in the DBR algorithm, all we do is multiply and sum. So, in other words, DBR in Sigma uses vectors, represents vectors as discrete piecewise constant functions. Sum product algorithm manipulates multiplication and plus vector operations. And the pervasive gradient descent learning mechanism in Sigma performs this evolving of lexical representations. So, for example, how we are capturing the co-occurrence information in Sigma. This is the conditional that's doing that. We are finding for the co-occurring words using the environmental vectors. We are trying to calculate the context vectors, like we are doing in the general DBR algorithm. So for that, assume that we have a four-word vocabulary, and the co-occurring words are the first and the fourth ones. When we multiply this thing by the environmental vector function, we achieve the environmental vectors of the co-occurring words. By summarization, which is integral in this case, and basically summation, we add these things up and achieve the context information. So it's just 0.66 plus 0.51 is 117. And by L2 normalization, we can vector normalize this thing and achieve the context vector in the general DBR algorithm. A similar thing happens for ordering information. We need to take into account sequence vectors over here, so there is one extra conditional which calculates the ordering vector. And then this meaning vector and ordering vector basically used to achieve the gradient via action combination, summing them up together. And the gradient descent algorithm updates the lexical vector which captures the semantic information for words. So when we check the results, compare the results from the external simulator, we see that the results that we are getting from Sigma is in the range that we are getting from the external simulator. And initially, we were only using positive numbers in Sigma, and later we extended to use negative numbers as well. And this is done on a smaller data set where the vocabulary is 65,000 words. So we have comparable results in Sigma. So when we achieve speed, we can get as good results as the external simulator. So as a conclusion, I can say that DBRS in the external simulator is fast. It's doing 1.4 million words per minute or something like that, which is comparable to the literature. And accuracy, even though it's on a smaller, relatively smaller corpus, it is comparable to the results that's getting from state-of-the-art results. And it fits naturally to the Sigma cognitive architecture. However, we need to do more in terms of optimization for efficiency and effectiveness. So, currently, we have attuned Sigma such that we can use negative numbers, and this basically doubles the accuracy in the test case that we are running. We are currently using external simulator to run larger data sets and applying DVRS to a sentence classification test. These are ongoing work right now. And for future, we should do further optimizations for efficiency. We are thinking and talking about how to use distributed vectors as a bridging mechanism between speech, language, and cognition. And we are talking about ideas as well for the pervasive use of distributed vectors in Sigma for analogic and semantic memory. So that is, I guess I'm on time.